Do you know that there is a side of you that no one sees? A side of you that you've been told to keep in check or just entirely ignore. But the truth is, that side is fuel. It's courage, it's clarity, it's untapped power. When you learn to move with it instead of against it, everything changes. Hi everyone, I'm Hilda. This video is a part of a series about owning your darkness, not to dwell in it, but to meet it, understand it, and use it as a tool. Today we're stepping into the shadow, exploring what's hidden and how acknowledging it can give you power, clarity, and wholeness. Let's talk about balancing the shadow. Every positive act has a shadow counterweight. For example, making art, being kind, being successful, it all brings consequences and responsibilities. Ignoring the shadow leads to imbalance and burnout. Conscious small gestures help balance the shadow. For example, an artist donating time to teach others, or a CEO taking care of daily chores as a symbolic grounding act. Let's talk about why balancing the shadow is needed. Anytime we create, succeed, restrain ourselves, or act good, we also create a shadow. This is not bad, it's natural. Problem only comes when we ignore the shadow, because light and shadow rise together. Modern life increases creativity, which increases the shadow. What happens when the shadow is ignored? The shadow doesn't disappear when we ignore it. It finds depression, snapping at people, projecting onto strangers and loved ones, emotional crashes, things like that. The shadow will be paid, consciously or unconsciously. How can the shadow be balanced consciously? The good news is we don't have to hurt anyone to balance our shadow. The unconscious accepts symbolic acts as real. 1. Acknowledge the shadow. Simply acknowledge that the shadow has accumulated. Examples: quietly naming the frustration, sitting still 2 to 5 minutes after stress, saying something like, "Something heavy built up today." That's you acknowledging the shadow. 2. Express the shadow symbolically. The shadow needs expression, but it can be done symbolic instead of destructive. Example: writing something raw privately, journaling, drawing or painting intense emotions, things like that. 3. Physical release. You need to release the shadow through the body. The shadow lives in the body as tension and energy. For example, dancing, punching the pillow, walking fast, cleaning with tension, things like that. 4. Humbling or grounding acts. This is my favorite one. I do this all the time. This is when you ground your ego. After success or recognition, grounding prevents inflation. Ego inflation doesn't mean arrogance or being full of yourself. It means your identity starts shifting above your body and your everyday life. You begin living more in meaning, recognition, being someone. This happens naturally, by the way. It happens naturally after recognition, success, creativity, being right, being seen, being admired. When the ego rises, the shadow rises too. Here's a list of some grounding acts to do. 1. Doing an unseen chore, like cleaning your room without music or posting about it online, doing dishes slowly and mindfully, taking trash out after a win or a compliment. You're probably wondering why doing an unseen chore works. It works because chores are ordinary, physical, and humbling. Grounding is not about shrinking yourself. It's about staying connected to being human. 2. Helping others quietly. Why does it work? Because it removes you from being center stage. Do something small for someone and move on from it. 3. Choose something ordinary. Why does it work? Because it breaks the "I am exceptional" momentum. Some examples are wearing simple clothes after being admired, eating a plain meal, running a basic errand alone, sitting in silence instead of creating content, things like that. Why are small gestures enough? Small gestures work because the shadow doesn't need big drama. It just needs recognition. The unconscious doesn't measure scale. 5 conscious minutes can prevent days of fallout. The goal is balance, not perfection. The shadow builds through living, and balance comes through conscious acts. Stepping into the shadow is quiet work. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It's noticing, accepting, and letting yourself fully be human. Light and dark goes together. Your power doesn't come from ignoring the darkness. It comes from walking through it with intention, curiosity, and presence. Owning your shadow isn't about shame. It's about choice, awareness, and energy. The more you understand and integrate these hidden paths, the more you move through the world fully, powerfully, and intentionally. Your shadow isn't a burden. It's a compass. Thanks for watching. See you next time.